The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
Alright guys, thank you for joining me again in this on this new video. Um, Basically to resume where we are with this project, the last time I showed you what the different scent tracks were used for, right? So mainly to route different effects here to save on CPU and to have some congruency on some of the instrument that we're using. And I just went ahead, we did that with one or two instruments. I just went ahead and applied for a couple more. So over here the outro, I routed it to the reverb over here. This one, the effects, I routed to the delay and the reverb over here. So just a couple more. You don't need to use effects everywhere, right? A lot of times you might try a little bit something, you say, you know what, it doesn't work. Don't use it if it doesn't work, right? Depending on what you're looking for. So that is one way to assign effects to add effects to your project. The other way to add it is to do it directly on a single mixer track. So over here, what I'm gonna do, we're just gonna have a look at it really quick. Oh, the other thing as well I want to mention is what you're gonna see over here. I have reduced a little bit the volume of the sand tracks that I've used here. It's because every time that you're using an additional FX, it's gonna raise a little bit the volume of it could be because in this case over here those are going over all the way to our project over here, so it is gonna raise the volume, the overall volume of the project or the overall volume or that specific mixer track, right? So to give you an example, actually let me go ahead and actually just select the part that I wanted to select. I think it was around here. That's yeah. So just to give you an example over here, if you look at this, so this is the master that I'm looking at right now, right? This is the master that I'm looking at right now. And you see we are around like 3, 3, 6 around here. If I go ahead and I'm just gonna put that reset, and I'm gonna reset this as well, and I'm gonna reset this as well, and probably what you're gonna notice. Actually, let me go back to the master here. Um, though it's subtle, it's a lot more than what we had there before, right? So that is one thing to keep in mind when you're using, and I think it's because as well that you have lower the volume on some instruments over here, but that is one thing as well to keep in mind is whenever you're using part of those effects, when you're using effects everywhere, it's gonna add a little bit more to whatever you already have there. So you need to make sure to be uh, mindful of that. I'm just gonna raise it back down here. You just need to make sure that you're mindful of that when you're mixing. Usually what I try to do is I try to stay my level, my comfort zone. I'm trying to be a little bit below the 6 here. Where we were at the 3 there, it's a little bit too hard because I don't really have enough room anymore when I'm gonna go to the master. So when I'm at the 6 here, that's a little bit better. Even below there, that's even better. So usually it starts over here, and just make sure that the instrument that you're adding are at a good level. So right now, if you listen, I just reduced those ones over here, right? And now we're looking a little bit more at the bottom. It's subtle, but it's there, right? So this is what I wanted to show you, just to say that whatever we're doing there, it is gonna add a little bit more. So let's get to what we were doing. I was talking about the first way. So over here, this is why if you wanna use a little bit less CPU resources. Another way to do that is if we come here, I'm just gonna use this, right? And we're gonna come up here and we're gonna add an effect. And on this one, I'm hearing a little bit of distortion. So let's come up here and I'm just gonna add this one over here, right? But this is a little bit too much. Depending on, you could come up here and actually already start to play with that. But the easiest way usually to do that is to come here right away and just use this dry wet button over here. So over here is basically saying how much, what percentage of that instrument you want to blend in with the original track. So when we come to 100% over here, everything is routed through the instrument. But when we have a certain percentage a little bit below that, we just have a part of it that will come out of the instruments. Okay, so that is one way to do that. Again, we can go and maybe let me see if I can add another one there and just see what else we can do. We can just you can blend in different stuff, right? So this is another distortion that I'm adding here, right? And you play with it. And you need to also see within the context of the overall project, right? So it could sound nice by its own, but when we blend it with everything else, it might not be that good anymore. So over here, it seems like I don't have, like I said, I don't have the main headphones with which I usually mix, but this seems okay to me. He has a little bit of crunchiness, but it's not that much, right? And I could have also just left it without any effects, but I feel like this works. The other thing I can show you, just to do that again, is let's say come up here with this sound over here. I already routed it to a certain delay over here. It's gonna come up in a bit, but you're gonna see like it's a little, it stopped a little bit dry. So what we can do is if we want to have it maybe uh, last a little bit longer, it lasts a little bit longer now, and you have a little bit of delay. The delay is not going to work for everything, especially for those other instruments where you have a lot of notes, right? You're gonna have the echoes are gonna conflict with the other notes that come later on within the song. So usually the delay is good when you have a little bit of space, right, of pause between notes or between vocals and all that. Usually that's when the echoes that have like uh, can sit really well within the song. But with the other instruments here, it won't be too it won't work too well. So let me just blend it in here. Alright guys, so this seems like okay to me. You don't need to add effects everywhere, right? Just where you're hearing that a little bit, or you can go and play around, try do it a little bit of a trial and error. Usually over here with those effects, I tend to be a little bit more creative. This is where, so let's say what I'm looking for, delay, yes. Let's say I'm going with, was it the Eternity? Yeah, so this one I can go over here and maybe select some of the other presets, the preset that come with the software, and just hear what that gives me. Maybe there is one preset there that is a little bit creative that I like. So let's say I'm reducing those two, and oh sorry, let's play it from here. So this is where, like I say, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play around a little bit more with those presets and see if there is something that works well for me. But most of the time, I'm trying to really keep it simple. Like I said from the very beginning, I'm just trying to polish it a little bit, but keep a lot more of the integrity of the original project and go from there. One other thing that I might have forgot to mention is part of the project as we were working there, I was stopping. I had saved a copy, and you could have downloaded that project in the description. So it should be there for you, available to download, and just pick up basically and work a little bit more. If maybe you did not get a chance to do what I was doing there, that is your chance to pick up that project and work on that. So let's leave it here. The next step, so basically over here, the mixing. At this stage, the mixing is done. The next step will be a little bit of mastering. Mastering again is really done by engineers. That it takes a little bit of time, it takes some training, but we want to make sure that at least when people listen to it, it's at a good level. And I'm going to explain a little bit more what mastering actually does, but there are some things over here that you could do that's going to improve your song even more. Okay, so I'm going to see you in the next video. Guys, if you enjoy the content, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also wanted to let you know about my free mastering mini course that's going to be available there in the description. You're also going to get with that free banger drums kit, right, with some crazy samples. Basically, you're going to be able to make some crazy drum patterns. Okay, so the link is going to be in the description. It's going to let you know how you're going to have access to it, and I will talk to you in another video.